Well, it looks like CBR is at it again with another article, which might be a little bit interesting. I feel like we've definitely talked about this before. I definitely do remember having a poll maybe a year ago or so about what the best Dragon Ball series was and what everyone voted for. So I don't mind talking about Dragon Ball because, well, I've been a fan since the 90s, so it's whatever. But CBR is basically saying here that is Dragon Ball GT actually good? Oh boy, I know a lot of people are gonna say some interesting comments about that. Or has Dragon Ball Super lowered our standards? Now, just looking at the title alone, man, Dragon Ball GT, of course we had Super Saiyan 4, Goku, Gogeta, Vegeta, of course Oob was there, Trunks and everyone was older, Gohan was older. We had, what, Super Android 17, which was pretty cool, Baby, Shenron. Who else did we have in GT? I think there was a couple other, I might be missing someone else, but that's who I pretty much remember. Of course, Goku was Chibi Goku, you know, he was a kid again, and whatever. But I think, honestly, just my overall opinion about GT, I think GT was really not that bad. Now, was it the best Dragon Ball series ever? No. I think in a poll, I put, like, Dragon Ball Z on, like, the best of the best, then I think at Dragon Ball. So I think I put Dragon Ball GT second place for me. Third place, I put Super, and then fourth place, I put Dragon Ball. That's just my order. Let me know what your order of what your favorite Dragon Ball series is. But for me, it was Dragon Ball Z, GT, Super, Dragon Ball. Now there are some classic fights in Dragon Ball. Like let's get that. Okay, there's definitely some classic fights in Dragon Ball, but just this, the scale wasn't that big compared to even Super, GT, or Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is being my favorite. Like I said, there's just so many cool fights, so many cool sagas that happened in Dragon Ball Z. That's why that was like my number one. I mean, that's like the most like iconic of them all, I think. So the next question the CBR Adapro asks, it says, is Dragon Ball GT actually good? So, like I said, in today's time, I think most people would say GT is pretty much mid. But I think back then, well, actually, no. I think most people might give it at least maybe like a 6 out of 10, or maybe like a 5, in between a 5 or maybe 7 out of 10. So some other people could rate it a bit lower. I'm not saying it's the best series ever, once again, but I do think it's just some qualities in there, right? But of course, not everything's quality in GT. But I think GT is okay for the most part. It's just alright. Like, I think you can watch it maybe once, and you might enjoy it. I mean, Super Saiyan 4, Vegeta, Goku, Gogeta, I mean, that's pretty cool. Although, you know, we didn't really see much with Goten and Trunks, which kind of sucks. Although, and it's weird, in the beginning of GT, we thought Trunks was the main character, but, I mean, he didn't really do much in the series overall. It's mainly just focused on Goku. Which I do think did actually hurt the series. I mean, of course, Pan got a little bit more shine, actually, than a lot of the other characters. But I mean, there's still some cool moments, right? What else they got here? So they said, how has Dragon Ball Super lowered our standards? Now, I'll say this about Super, right? It's cool that Dragon Ball came back, because, you know, it's a big series, right? And it's a big series, right? But, let's be honest, especially with Dragon Ball Superhero, like, it really wasn't that good. I'm just gonna be honest. Now, I did enjoy Broly. Broly going into being in Dragon Ball Super, that was pretty cool. I loved the Broly movie. Broly movie was pretty dope. I love that. Just the transformations overall, like Saiyan Blue and Saiyan Goddo and all that. I mean, they're just alright, but just in my opinion, I still prefer your regular OG Super Saiyan 2, 3. In fact, I even enjoy Super Saiyan 4 over Super Saiyan God and Blue, just to be honest. I'd really prefer to Super Saiyan 4, I mean, to be honest with that. I think there is some cool stuff going on with Super, but I just think there's a struggle trying to get it to the quality that we had in Dragon Ball Z. I think there's just a problem with that. Not only was the series of Dragon Ball Z pretty, like, awesome to watch, but, I mean, for the most part, we had some really awesome Dragon Ball Z films. Don't forget, Cooler's Revenge, The OG Broly films, minus the Bio Broly. I know everyone's gonna start roasting the doo-doo Broly, but we still had some cool movies in the Dragon Ball Z series as well. So I just think the problem with Super is that bringing it back to the nostalgic of Dragon Ball Z and the quality of it, it's just gonna be pretty much hard. I mean, and really, Dragon Ball Super just focuses on what? Goku and Vegeta for the most part. I mean, Vegeta being a main character is pretty much like him getting like his own like starting. Well, him being a main character from the beginning is pretty cool. I like that, and we get to see how Vegeta has changed and improved and just changed from Dragon Ball Z. That's cool. Goku's pretty much fucking the same for the most part. I mean, Trunks got a little stronger, I guess. I mean, there's a new cell form, which whatever. Gold Frieza, I guess, whatever. But I think there's so much opportunity they could do in Dragon Ball Super, and I just don't know if they tapped into that. Now, remember, I am anime only, so I don't know if maybe the manga, for the people who've seen the manga, maybe you guys, your opinion might be different on Super and what's going on in the manga, but from what we've seen in the anime, I think the anime definitely, I think, should come back, but I think just come back with more quality. Now, the current generation, I would say the Attack on Titan generation, or anyone who's just started watching anime from like maybe 2015, they may prefer Dragon Ball Super over Dragon Ball Z, and that's totally realistic. That might be like a lot of people, new gen of anime watchers may prefer Super over Dragon Ball Z, or GT, right? So it's just interesting to see, like, when did you start watching Dragon Ball? Like, did you watch it from the 90s like I did, or maybe you haven't even seen it yet? That'd be interesting to see someone who's actually just started watching it, maybe even this year, and like, okay, what are you like? Where are you at? What do you think about the Z, GT, Super, all that stuff? Some people may prefer Dragon Ball over all of them, which totally fine. I can see why. There's a lot of iconic stuff going on there, a lot of cool stuff going on there in Dragon Ball as well. I think for the most part, I think most of us can agree that out of all four series do have some cool moments in them, some cool stuff in it, right? So I think most of us can agree on that. What else they have here? So did Dragon Ball Super make GT retroactively better? Not gonna lie though, I think I do appreciate GT a bit more now that what we've seen from Super. I mean, if anything, I guess what Super did was maybe, when we get Dragon Ball Tenkaichi 4, we'll have more transformations and stuff, so that'll be kind of cool, I guess. But whenever that comes out. But I think I do appreciate Dragon Ball GT a bit more, But I just thought this was a pretty much interesting article. I mean, it's always good to talk about Dragon Ball. As you know, the last video I did was on Dragon Ball. But I just want to get your opinions on this. What do you guys think? Do you think GT is actually better? Did Dragon Ball Super make it better? Or is Dragon Ball Super just the dominating series out of all four? Is Dragon Ball Z still the best one? Or is Dragon Ball the best one? Let me know your opinions on this, guys. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, guys. And maybe we'll talk about this on the podcast as well. Pocket Jump Podcast, episode 41 will be this weekend. You can watch out for that. Anyway, guys, peace out and let me know your thoughts, man. I still think Dragon Ball Z dominates all four, but hey, I'm just one person's opinion. Anyway, peace out.